Hey there, everybody. 2021, just January here. Mr. Stephen Shaw and I. Hello, Stephen.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good. You look good in color.
Yes.
We do this audio podcast, but it's only in black and white, so I haven't seen your
It's
shirt
high
color that
definition
much.
in here. It's nice.
Yeah. We thought we'd try to expand CodePen Radio into the new
The third
century.
dimension,
What is it?
second dimension, I guess.
Look, second dimension. We're going to use all the dimensions except smell. We're not going to go into that. So we thought we'd do video. You're looking at video. We're going to do video podcast if we can. If this works out, hopefully it's fun. Of course, we'd love your feedback on that. We'll probably send the thing to YouTube. We'll send it out over the regular CodePen podcast feed. So if you're in your car and you're just hearing the audio version of this, that means your podcast catcher thing is like super smart and has figured out to just play the audio version, even though there's a video attached to it. I don't know how that works, or maybe it'll freeze your car. I hope that doesn't happen on the highway. Anyway, this is a big experiment is the point, and it's a cool time to do it because it's the beginning of the new year, and that means here at CodePen, we run our fancy little algorithms to calculate what the most hearted pens of 2020 is. Now, so Steven's got it up on his screen. He's kind of technically the driver here of this video, although we're using this fancy software where I get a cursor too, so I can do things like this where I draw a circle. Look at that. That's terrible audio and great video, people. The most hearted is very accurate. Just for a bit of background on how that works, it's literally we just count the hearts, which is different than every other thing we do on CodePen, which is very algorithmically driven, which is like, how many views and hearts and comments and clicks and da-da-da-da-da. There's a whole thing behind it. We're even using a little machine learning these days on CodePen to do some of that stuff. Not this. This is just like, did it get a lot of hearts? Yeah, good. It's on the list. But it also counts we have this like Grinch Stole Christmas style hearting on CodePen. Did you know that? You know the Grinch's heart grows 3 sizes in that? It's great.
And
great
changes color
holiday.
at the same time.
It does. Gets a little deeper red. So as you heart multiple times on CodePen, that is counted here. It's not counted everywhere on CodePen, but that, like, if one pen seems to have less of a number of hearts than the one after it or whatever, that's why, is because if a pen gets a lot of triple hearts, well, that's all counted equally here. So
Yeah,
that's neither here nor there.
Completely sequential order.
Exactly. Did you find an example of that? Oh, you did.
Here, 525. For Agatha's, and then 512.
Yeah, so why would Jake's beat Agatha's? Well, Jake's had more 2 and 3 heart people amongst them. So that does matter, especially at least for this end of year thing, it matters on CodePen. So hey, look at that scroll, that sticky scrolling one. Look at that one. And by the way, everybody who makes anything on CodePen is awesome. If you're on this list, you're extra awesome because you've made some incredible stuff that people love. But this one is so practical. There's so much art in here, and I absolutely love that CodePen is used for art stuff. But sometimes these practical pens do so well. You know what? I remember this one. What attracted me to some of it is how short the JavaScript is, because it's an intersection observer, and it's just like, hey, is that element like in view or not? If it is, then put an active class on it. If it's not, take the active class off it, and that's it. Isn't that great? It's like the intersection observer API is tremendous. I think so classy. What else do you got? Is there give some favorites here? We thought we'd just go through the list and.
That's tricky. Yeah.
It does, because you clicked on the links inside the pen.
Right, I guess so, but it didn't change the hash, I guess, since it was in the iframe there.
Yeah, but it still remembers. Like, can you imagine those conversations at browser vendors? They're like, because somebody's got to make that up, and I sort of doubt it's spec'd. Browsers just kind of have to decide. Oh my God, look at that.
Yeah. So this is all CSS. Lynn Fisher has just done some incredible CSS work. I don't think it's
Look
been
at her
all
using multiple divs, though.
Yeah.
It's funny, though. They might as well be single divs, right? Because just the bottle is one div, and just the skull is one div.
Right. So we'll allow the more than one div convention as long as each piece is a single div.
Hasn't Lynn, I think she has a course or some blog posts and stuff talking about that concept of single div. You'd think it's tremendously limiting. In some ways it is. At least mentally it is, but it isn't in a way, as exemplified by her work here, because you can do things like multiple backgrounds, which are unlimited, meaning that's kind of an infinite canvas. The single div thing is just a hook in a way.
Yeah, it's a nice challenge, but it's always amazing to see what Lynn comes up with there.
She is the best.
And more CSS art. Sarah did this awesome.
I like the title of it. .css, just in case you need to use it in your project too.
It's
throw that on npm.
It's so impressive, Like
that you can select the arrow. I like that there's
right, it's actual text
fonts in use.
Yeah.
That's good.
Bonkers.
That screen looks great too. You could, I don't know if it's just my mind playing tricks on me or not, but you know how that right there, it feels like there's like ghosted letters behind it, and I can't tell if they're actually in there or if my brain just puts them there because they should be there.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a text shadow on it, but yeah, that's a beautiful effect.
So many. We're still in the 90s.
I know.
Stephanie Arseny Yuxi.
Yusuke, I think is how you say their name.
I like that you can feel the depth of the water there. Oh, look at the little clip path on the outside. Is it a clip path? That's what I would assume it is.
Let's see, surface animation.
Because I think clip paths are the problem with clip path is it doesn't in Chrome, because you're in Chrome here. It doesn't support paths, and that is definitely a path.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's just.
I think it might just be rotating. Oh, okay.
Oh, border radius. Clever.
Yeah, that'll.
Oh, that's extra clever.
It's a great little blob effect. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Scroll trigger was big this year. That GSAP released that, I believe, in 2020, right? So it's kind of you'd think thered be 100 libraries that do this, and I think there is, but for some reason when GreenSock does something, they do it right, They do it with the APIs so clean that they just know.
Yeah, and it's so integrated into just the GSAP way of doing things. So if you're wanting to add some scroll triggering to GSAP, then it's just a great
yeah. Why look elsewhere? Oh, there's Adam. That's cool. That's another one of those. Oh, and nice to see Pete on the list as well.
Yeah, Pete's done some really great just poster recreations.
Look at that.
Yeah,
that's Swiss design written all over it there, isn't it? Aren't these recreations of album arts or
it's some kind of style poster for bands?
It has that feel like I could do that, but but did you? No.
Pete's definitely done it well. Ooh, Chris Gannon always
he's a long timer. This list changes from year to year. Who the superstars of the year are. People they do great and they move on, or they don't have as much time for creative coding or whatever in the past. But Chris has been on this list every year since we started. I bet he's got that real, and I feel like there's something to look up to about Chris too if you're into this thing, because he does client work a lot. So he's a guy that's taken his creative coding and turned it into money.
Yeah.
So you can do that too. So if you're trying to do that too, look at how Chris operates, because he does well that way.
Yeah.
That's
animation.
Fun.
Jesse.
I know.
That's
one of those things where why would any add to cart button work any other way? Now that you've seen that,
Oh yeah, Michelle's. This is another little scroll trigger demo.
I believe she said she put a healthy amount of hours into this one.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working at the moment, but it's a really cool effect.
3D
integrated in there.
I opened this pen yesterday and it was let's not think about it. Plus, you're on a developer machine here too, so who knows what we broke internally. Not that you're on production here, but still, DNS is crazy. Wow. Is that an SVG filter?
Unpackage imports for 3D.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Is that what would you call? Oh, it's 3JS, meaning it's canvas, right?
Yeah, so it's
Oh my God. Good
WebGL.
thing you moved the car. Now it's extra creepy. I just got a little chills, I think.
Ooh, nice. That
Something about radio buttons,
yeah,
isn't it?
John did a great job there.
John, that's
Radio
that's
buttons.
wonderful. You never know on one of those ones what it's going to do. You mentally brace for something weird about to happen, but you never know what it's going to be
Yeah,
exactly.
that's fun. It's a little cursor chaser.
Oh, you're moving your
Michael,
cursor to,
yeah,
yeah, nice.
space work,
Yeah, you
particle
chase
effect.
me. I can do that too. Look.
You're annotating.
uh, Olivia, wonderful. I
Yes.
saw at the beginning of this year released a brand new portfolio too. So congratulations, Olivia, for giving yourself a real web presence out there too. Oh yeah, this is hilarious. I love that. Aaron was on the list. I think he took the prize for the most times on the list,
Yeah,
right?
he's a frequent flyer as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I did need to design a button the other day, and I wanted it to have a little whimsy to it. And you better believe his profile was the very first place I went to look because they have like an air of usability to them too. Like they always do something fun, but they also look professional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's a nice balance of practicality
Oh
and
my God, I
fun.
remember this one. I
Yeah,
remember this. This is so
and
tremendous.
so
The little foam air
I
bubbles. Oh,
know
they
it's
get
so
me.
impressive, and just in all CSS.
Yeah, and that kind of perfect angled look to it. So cool. So
Mhm.
cool. Oh, the cannon. This gets
Christmas
first prize
cannon,
with my
Steve
my
Gardner.
daughter.
Yeah,
You
yeah. My
you
kids have.
recommended this in this thread we are, and they're like, "That's been a winner with the kids." And I'm like, "Oh!" I immediately went and grabbed Ruby and put her on my lap, and she's just smashing it. There's so many surprises in here. Like, what was the 10th one? Is the giant Christmas tree or something?
Yeah.
There it comes. And then there's like a penguin or something randomly comes out. I forget
I haven't
which.
gotten
There's a
that
couple.
deep in it. That's awesome.
Uh, yeah.
Snowman.
Yeah. My daughters at 3 is the perfect age to find that one. She
Absolutely.
kept having demands about which angle I shoot it at and all that. Some more kind of beautiful
Another
practical
button,
stuff.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Glass card. This one is a nice effect. It's actually a background image that is creating the frosted effect. I saw
Oh,
this.
is that right? Because
Yeah,
there's that CSS property, right?
backdrop
Backdrop
filter.
filter,
Yeah,
and that's not what's being used here.
right. Because performance wise, like that's horribly inefficient. But
Hmm.
adding it just as a pre-rendered image makes it
Yeah,
performant.
that's cool. They used to call that the lava lamp slider back in 1822 when I started in
DHTML lava
jQuery land.
slider.
Yeah. That's
Jay,
cool. Oh, Jay did our
finally.
challenges in December, so thanks for that, Jay. Obviously, an incredible coder. He's very methodical about all this too. You know, I think you can ding your count on a pen a day from Jay. I think he's a hot contender for to be Chris Gannon like
Yeah,
in getting hired to do this kind of work because he's just so prolific at it.
yeah, and just the output on that guy
Yeah,
has been
and each one is so different too. He really he gets an idea and he executes it in a very surprising way. Well, that's fun.
these have been really cool by Lewis. It's kind of a step by step walkthrough of how he comes up with these effects.
Right.
Um,
So that it wasn't about those first steps. That's just like conceptually, that
right,
first step is easier to think about, right? Like,
right.
oh, you just draw one line and you change the what it looks like, and then you change the direction of how it draws, and oh, let me change that algorithm to be more organic. How wonderful is that? Step by step is the way to go here.
Yeah, he's done several of these this that last year, and they're all really
makes it all the more powerful there. Sorry, we're not talking about every single one here. We were kind of trying to cook along, and oh,
yeah,
Julia, she what a legend.
yeah. She's incredible
Oh my
CSS
God,
animator.
look at that. That belongs in some sci-fi. I mean, that's obviously the aesthetic that was going there for, but it feels like the thing could be the basis of a sci-fi movie.
Now, I don't think this name is pronounceable. Abalexel Fuzzy. I think that's a screen name. It's a nice little icon tab bar.
Oh, that's wonderful how they draw themselves to you. It's like it would be cool anyway, and then that's like that final thing that just gets that wow factor. I'm sure a lot of triple hearts on that one.
Hey everybody, it's a new year, a new you. Maybe it's time to build that website that you've been thinking about building. I think you should check out WordPress.com to do that. I want to go through the plans really quickly because you might learn something about the power and flexibility of WordPress.com if we do. So for one thing, there's a free plan. So there's like nothing stopping you from getting started really quickly. If you do that, you're going to be at a subdomain of WordPress.com, which may be fine for you. But if you don't want that, you can upgrade to the $4 a month plan, not particularly pricey, where you get a free domain name as you get started. You'll pay for it after that, but it's not a huge expense. So you can have your own domain name, but still be using WordPress.com. And pull the ads off of it that come on the free plan. So that's cool. Then for $8 a month, you get the live chat. You're uploading videos. You have a nicer selection of themes. If you're running a fundraiser or something, you can collect payments for that. Still very inexpensive, very powerful on WordPress.com. All this, of course, on the WordPress.com cloud. Super fast, super secure. All these best practices, HTTPS, all this stuff that you don't have to worry about. Backups, that you're getting on any of these plans, which makes it a tremendous choice. But at the $25 level, this is the best because this really turns the WordPress.com traditional thinking on its head, I think. As soon as you have the business plan, you have SFTP access right into the thing. So now you're like developing locally, pushing your site to GitHub, having it SFTP deploy to your WordPress.com site. It's like having any other WordPress hosting. You have database access in the same way. Really just everything a WordPress host is, only it's on the WordPress.com cloud. Really super cool. That's like interest. If you didn't know that, I think that opens up a lot of doors. And then if you want WooCommerce on top of that too, and all the super powerful e-commerce stuff, that's that kind of top tier plan there. Now there's super duper top tier plans too, like VIP. Look at their $1,700 a month. It's a big deal, big boy WordPress site for that. They like audit your code as you do pushes and stuff. It's a big deal. Even CSS Tricks that I run isn't quite at the VIP scale. And then they have Pressable too, which is more like traditional WordPress hosting, but is hosted on the WordPress.com cloud. So there is something for everyone across the website building spectrum on WordPress.com. Check it out.
Yeah, the lighting.
How it bounces just right off of the back.
And the little touches, just a working TV screen. It's great.
Oh, I love the grid. I
And
wrote about this because it was it's simple in a way. I mean, some of the details just make it awesome. Like book covers are always something attractive about that. The colors are beautiful, but you normally think of a grid as straight up and down vertical and horizontal lines, but this is like, but these are 45-degree angle lines. How does that work? And it's clever. And I think, what was it, Alex Trost, is that the front end horse guy, took this and made a great tutorial about how it was done there, which is really clever.
Yeah.
It's one thing to say, okay, well, on this row, I shift everything over half the distance of one column, but there's more happening here. That doesn't account for how you get those backgrounds done, which happens to, there's clipping paths and gradients and all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot of clever stuff here. This one's right up my alley. Yeah. I love stuff like that.
Following.
Oof.
Yeah.
Jamie, is this the click one? Isn't the backstory of this the
space bar?
There's some the code pen that's like incredibly popular that makes no sense why it's popular.
Millions of views. But yeah,
and all it does is count how fast you can click a space bar, which is some video game culture thing that, I don't totally understand, but I think kids use it to show off. Like, look at how fast I can press the space bar. So Jamie was like, I'm going to make that same experience, but not stupid.
Infinitely better. Like, this is just so well done, and so many little details of it. Like, there's actual strategy to it, like in how you level up and all that. It's phenomenal. You definitely check that one out.
Just incredible. The pure CSS games thing is amazing to me. And we don't have collections on here, I don't think, this year, because it's a weird category to be a popularity contest in a way. But you'll find plenty of people's collections of games on CodePen, and once in a while, when you're in the right mood to play simple games, there is some amazing stuff on CodePen. It's like weird to think of CodePen as this gaming hub, but there's enough of it over the years that there's enough. That's shocking.
Beautiful effect.
It's not a lick of JavaScript, right? There's no canvas. There's nothing. It's little tiny slices of the page.
Right, multiple elements. I've actually been working on an effect like this. Come on.
Nice.
Do it. Yeah.
That's funny. Apparently, neither of you fell asleep in math class or whatever, because there's definitely some geometry happening there. Oh, fun. I love when things are unexpected. I like that CodePen logo on the card, too. Everybody should have a CodePen logo on there, personally.
CodePen.
Yeah, this is tremendous. How when you change the slide, that it just feels very modern. It feels expensive, too. And I like that the photography goes with that. Like, I don't know what we're looking at there, but it looks expensive. So it might as well be in an expensive looking gallery. There's so many little backstories to that, right? I think Adam threw this together in like an hour, because there was some salty tweet that was like, imagine getting handed this from your designer. And the tweet was like instant no, basically, like, I'm not going to build that. And Adam's like, imagine not being thrilled at the opportunity.
Yeah.
Was his response. And then threw this together
in CSS. This is all CSS. Yeah. Like, it's phenomenal. Yeah, Adam,
right. I wouldn't have gone there. As much as I love CSS, I'd be like, well, I'm going to manage all that state in like something that's designed to manage state,
Yes. Bongo Cat.
Oh, Carolyn, high five.
Yes.
That's a wonderful thing. I think people personally identify with Bongo Cat.
Yes. Crowd simulator. That's great. I think this is all randomly generated. Nice.
That's quite something. Oh, let's look at the asset just for fun. I bet it looks funny, because it looks like it's one asset, so it's probably a character sheet. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Love sprite sheets.
Yeah. Those went out of favor for a minute when we stopped using them for icons. Yeah. But that doesn't mean they're not still cool.
Nice UI here.
Mm-hmm. I like seeing that stuff, because obviously from our perspective, that gets people coming to CodePen, because so many people do that kind of work day to day for their lives. So if you can find beautiful UI work that is open source on CodePen, why not come there? That's like phenomenal. Parallax is fun, but that's extra fun.
Yeah,
that little how it changes the word.
SVG text mask, probably using some kind of image as the mask there.
Yeah, you can tell, because that's there's some luminance mask working there too as well. That's something. Got to think of that. Oh, we're getting to the top here.
Top 20 of 2020.
Some more Lin, some beautiful buttons, a beautiful toggle, of course. Nice to see Steve on. Oh my gosh,
it's really nice.
Oh wow,
shadow.
Like just the outside is cool, but it's got it does it use the Steve Jobs CSS pre-property?
I forgot about that. Let's see.
There. I bet it does. If it doesn't, it
box
could.
reflect or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I don't see it. Wait.
Box shadow. Yep.
Box reflect. It totally does. I love that still exists.
I've forgotten about that. That's awesome.
That's the best. We need to work that into a design somewhere.
Yes.
Nice. High five.
How to by Lewis. That's awesome.
That's this guy that has this last name that's very similar to mine.
This diagonal layouts one was really popular by Nils.
Yeah, because it had this kind of instructional quality to it as well. And some math, which is neat, because one of those things that happens with ClipPath is that if you just do it with percentage values, which you want to do because it's much easier to work with, that then when you shrink the page, now play with the width of the page, that angle is still the same. If you were to do that with percentages, it normally would steepen the angle.
Yeah, I did.
Which is a tricky thing to fight
like
against.
that a while back.
Yeah.
And it was definitely glad Skew has come so far now. Spinners.
All right, top 10. Let's look at it. Sorry to anybody that we're skipping by here. No shade. It's just it's just, people's attention is so. Oh, look at back-to-back Ben Evans with the paintings.
Yeah, these were incredible. So this one is.
One's a game. I remember that. I spent too long with this, Ben, and you know what? I never got it. I never could get it.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
You didn't win either?
Win condition on this one, but
there is a win condition. You build a friggin' lighthouse, because weird things start to happen as you get further. Anyway, it's very clever.
This one I'm not going to click into because performance-wise, I'm pretty sure that'll push it over the edge.
I'm glad.
WebGL, no problem. But no, CSS painting.
That's tricky, and you can tell the way that we design the grids is that's an image, and instead of an iframe, because there's no animation happening on the pen, there's a little algorithm that can detect stuff like keyframes or loops. And so thank gosh he didn't write the word at keyframes anywhere in there or make a set timeout or anything. Otherwise that iframe would load and everybody would feel the pain of that page. Tremendous. Love it.
The corgi toggle here. It's great.
Let's see those pancakes go. Yeah.
Gravity. Ooh, nice.
Toggles will never not be cool.
Toggles. Oh, this one, we actually did an episode of Keyframers on this one, but
did you?
He did a really good rendition of it. React.
Oh, that's fun. How they tuck back into each other. Oh no, it's just some GSAP action. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He put our version to shame. That's good. Impossible checkbox.
Yeah, we'll put that on the kid list too. I think maybe Rach said what I heard. It resonated with certain kids. I forget who exactly.
Some practical stuff up here in the top 10. Just animated buttons. Beautiful.
Lovely. Although they left the last one to the what do they call that? What they call that this year? Skew morphism.
Oh, yeah.
Morphism. Isn't it
Neomorphism? Yeah, something like that. And nice magazine layout.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, the typography, the spacing, the lines in use. That's great. Oh, Steve's multiple appearances on the list then. Yeah, he also said that he was extremely proud of this, and he should be. This is unreal.
Yeah, 3JS and Scroll Trigger, I believe.
Yeah. Steve, you could go to the New York Times. They love this stuff.
Yeah, I love that.
Just with the 3D though. Oh, so come on, man. Yeah. Wow.
And number 1, Ryan Mulligan.
Oh, Ryan. Wonderful, Ryan.
Just some really nice.
Yeah, well, here I guess that proves it. That is, in the grand scheme of things, is pretty simple. I mean, compared to Steve's thing, is very simple, but that is classy,
right?
And I can see and just so generically useful on anything, but with all the bright touches, it darkens a little bit, it moves the background a little bit, it's got a clear call to action. That italic font is from heaven. Look, amazing.
That's what I love about CodePen is there's such a balance of like these really challenging pins, really fun pins, and then really practical pins. It's just, and so it's nice to see that reflected just in the top 10 alone. We've got some actually practical stuff with layouts. We have some just pure challenging, beautiful stuff with CSS, painting, and then more advanced like web animation. And just all kinds of great stuff. 3D.
Yeah, and that's symbolic of not just the CodePen community, but I think that's how all friend builders, they love that stuff. They they live in the practical, but like to dance with the artistic stuff. Appeals to us all. So Yeah. Thanks for clicking through this. I didn't use my annotation tool enough here. I'll draw a star. Just to make sure
a special star for the top 10 there.
Yeah.
Really
done,
for everyone
everybody
that's contributed to CodePen in 2020.
So this video format too is going to give us a lot of opportunity to show off more stuff from you and from us and showing you features. And I'm sure we'll be coding and doing behind the scenes stuff. Same vibe as the show, but now we have more potential. And I think we're probably going to do some audio stuff too. Just mix it up. It's not like we're 100% switching over. We just thought we'd give this a try. So thanks, everybody.